Welcome back to Metroid II: Return of Samus. Only 4 Metroids remain. There aren't any large facilities or anything left either. It's just us and these 4. We have every item in the game. We are ready for battle. And if we can complete this, our mission is complete and we can go home. So, long vertical column. We're kind of done with the lowering acid, or lava at this point. We're going back up. And if we're going back up, that actually would bring us closer to the surface. Just me or anybody else weirded out by the fact that there are literally no enemies in this entire area. Okay, so I did see a passage going to the right. Yeah. Okay, so we have a passage going to the right. And a passage here going left. So those are spikes. It's not lava, it is just spike. So as long as we're careful, we should be fine. Oh, you know what these remind me of? These remind me of the friggin' irritating things in, was it Ridley's Lair or Norfair in Metroid 1? You know, the one that I fell down and had the damage boost to get out of. Good times. The music in here, too. Ooh, setting the mood. Metroid 2 doesn't have a lot in the way of, like, actual music. A lot of it is more ambience than anything else. Yep, got a Metroid. And it's another Omega! I'm just gonna do this till you back off. He's got like a pattern he goes into where he just kind of wants to ram you a lot. Yeah, get those good back shots. So you have to be overt about make sure you physically are pointed towards the enemy. Ooh boy, these things are rough. Make sure you are physically pointed towards them, like you're spinning. Don't just go backfire. Like, make sure you see yourself arc backwards before you fire. To think that the shell is here actually kind of implies that this Metroid has lived its whole life here. Grown all the way to the Omega variant. The Omega, as far as anyone knows, the Omega is the final form of the Metroid life cycle. This gives them an unbelievably hard carapace, so they cannot be harmed by natural means. If this game is any indication, they can still fly and are virtually immune to all damage. The only way to hurt them is the infant Metroids had to be frozen, which is something you do not have to do with any form after an infant Metroid. So we have a hole here going down. And acid. So we've got to clear out some Metroids before we can go further down there. So I mentioned in a couple places that the map of this game does not make sense. If you try to put all the pieces together, they just don't line up and the map overlaps itself and everything. This here is probably one of the absolute biggest offenders, because that path downward is actually completely encompassed by map. Like, it's a circle of map. There's no way out. Oh, hey, an enemy. Wow. I'm shocked. So you can go up here. And there is a save point up here. What I would really like, though, is some kind of health recharge? Of which there isn't. I don't believe there is one in this entire area. But I'm not fighting another friggin' Omega with 2 energy tanks. So I guess I'll see everybody in, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. However long it takes me to run all the way back and find an energy recharge. I return having taken only minimal damage. So we saw that there is a save point up above us. However, my curiosities instead lead more to something below us. I think this is supposed to go... No, never mind. Yeah, we're actually seeing some enemies in here. I'm surprised. I don't remember if AM2R actually had any enemies at all, or if it was intentionally left very empty. Oh, that was dumb on my part. I didn't even have to fight him. Whatever, going this way. Back over the Norfair bubbles. And I'm sure I've mentioned before, I'm doing these vertical hops because you just have a lot more horizontal control. It's the same as in the NES Metroid. Alright, big guy. I don't even have to do the weird, like, jumping back and forth thing. Just, like... Okay, back away. Just do this, and then when it starts kind of... Doesn't actually look like it attacks me for very long. Okay, we're coming up with a strategy. We're coming up with a strategy. Of course, we're coming up with a strategy when only 2 Metroids remain. Man, I don't know who gave me this radar, but the fact that there are only 2 Metroids... The fact that I can even know that there are 2 Metroids left on this entire planet. And I'm about to do them in. This guy scares me more than a Metroid. Man, if I had a wave beam... If I had a wave beam, he wouldn't know what was going to hit him. Oh, I remember you. Oh, that's the whole bottom, I guess. These remind me very much of Metroid I columns. I wonder if that's intentional. This whole area does, between the Norfair bubbles. And those vertical columns? Especially the way that one, like, went to the doorway and then had, like, the little bit after the bottom of that. I wonder if this is intentional. A nod to Zebus. Their Zebisian origins. No, I'm sure in Metroid II they had no idea what the lore was right now. Like how all of these guys evolve the second I show up. Come on. Like, you guys couldn't have managed to figure out how to turn into... Guys couldn't have figured out how to turn into Omega Metroids before I walked in the room? I think that's another thing both remakes did well, actually, is you got a fair combination of some Metroids that evolved right as you showed up, kind of as a defense mechanism, and some Metroids that were just already big chonkers walking around. And there's our Rumble. With only one Metroid remaining. Down the chasm, down the hatch. Yeah, heck with both of you guys. Heck with you. Not fighting any of y'all. If I don't gotta. Because you're all butts. I do kind of have to fight people in here, much to my own chagrin. You know what? Let's save this for next time. Given how long it took me to backtrack, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. However, I will say, until next time, everyone... One Metroid remains, and we've lowered the last Pat barrier.